Auto Fire Power Hour is brought to you by the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo. On February 4th and 5th, 2017, thousands of retro game fans will descend upon the Ontario Convention Center. Check out panels, play free arcade games. There will be giveaways, live music, photo ops, and of course, a ridiculous amount of retro games and systems for sale from vendors. For more info and to purchase tickets, check out SoCalRetroGamingExpo.com. SoCalRetroGamingExpo.com.
Alright, welcome to Auto Fire Power Hour. We are having a quick hit episode dedicated to Columns. So Columns is probably best known as the Sega game. I think it was maybe most popular in the Genesis, but also the arcade.
It is, I would say, it's the Tetris for Genesis.
Yeah, many ports. It went to all kinds of different things, and Columns actually has a really kind of interesting history to it. So I'll let you play while I kind of explain what I'm talking about.
You do not need to threaten me with a good time. I am a fan of Columns.
So Columns was actually developed by a guy named Geersten.
Huh.
Geersten is an American who worked at Hewlett-Packard.
Okay.
And he developed this game as kind of a showcase software piece that they were supposed to release on like this was 1989, right? So like the first PC consoles and chips and stuff were coming out that could be potentially consumer oriented, right? Like your regular consumer. Anyway, so he developed Columns. It was actually released on I want to say Windows didn't exist yet, but I want to say it was like DOS and some Hewlett-Packard.
Really?
OS.
I always thought that Columns was a Sega thing, and it was wrapped up really quick, like early on, like it became the Sega puzzle game.
Yeah, so it actually it actually wasn't that, and that was kind of the surprising thing to me. I always thought it as like a Sega classic.
Yeah.
They own the rights. They release it as a Sega classic.
Right.
But it was fucking made by this guy Geersten. In 1989.
But released on computer platforms before any Sega thing.
Yep. So, but and then subsequently in the arcade. But the Sega bought the rights to it in 1990, and then Game Gear actually came with the game package subsequently.
That's right. I totally forgot that it was the original pack-in for Game Gear.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that the Game Gear game, is actually better than the Genesis game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
a lot of people also say that Game Boy Tetris is the version of Tetris to play. So
and they're wrong.
Yeah.
But I've actually never played the Game Gear Column, so I've
never played it either. No. I wasn't a big Game Gear dude.
So anyway, so that's a little bit of the history that Sega became to own it. This is probably one of the most ported and copied puzzle games.
There wasn't a maybe you found this in some of your research, I don't know, but this is the first Match 3 puzzle game, right?
Yes.
It came up with the mechanic.
Yep, Geersten came up with the Match 3 puzzle.
It's pretty neat.
And this is what you're seeing. This later became popularized in your Busta Moves and Snood and just any plethora of puzzle games.
Yeah, matching colors. It's a pretty easy concept to understand, but yeah, it's cool that it came from one dude.
Yeah. So, it was just similar story to Tetris, right? Because Nintendo bought the rights to Tetris for a while.
There's so much stuff and convolution in the Tetris story.
Saga.
Yeah, so much there are like multiple movies about it.
Yeah. So it has a really, really similar story. Mm-hmm. It's nowhere near as well known as Tetris.
Yeah.
But it did have its time in its day.
Yeah.
So, fun fact,
mm-hmm.
I found Geersten on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I, as of, maybe 3 hours ago, sent him a LinkedIn request.
Uh-huh.
Checking my LinkedIn now to see if I have
a response.
A response. Let me see. I have some notifications. Nope.
The
No
old
response
cold
yet.
shoulder.
No response
Classic
yet from Mr.
Geersten.
J. Geersten.
Classic Geersten.
Classic.
What a Geersten move.
Yeah. So I am almost sure that I found him, right? Because his Hewlett-Packard years on his resume totally
Oh, they match
correspond
up.
with the development of this.
I love the idea of you stalking the guy who made columns.
Yeah.
He's stalking though, so it's safe.
So Geersten, if you can hear me now, you son of a bitch, you better accept my LinkedIn requests.
I got many questions for you.
So maybe we get a hold of him and later we do an interview.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
Dude, how awesome would that be to interview the guy who made Columns?
Be cool.
So the cool thing about Columns is player 2 can join at any time.
Yes.
I have not played this game in a long time.
Yeah, me neither. But as a kid, I played a lot of Columns. A lot of it.
Yes.
It was a rental store guy, and I remember the day I tried it. It was because none of the other games that I wanted to rent were there, but I needed a game, like I had to have it. So I settled for this, but it ended up being like a happy accident, and I became a Columns fan. So you have an interesting story about Columns, right?
I do indeed. So So just to kind of set the stage for this, I tried to research. Ooh, very clever, very clever. So I tried to research if what I witnessed or what I think I witnessed, because I'm kind of unsure about it these days.
Right.
In my old age, you begin to question some things that you think you might have seen.
Is this a manufactured memory, that kind of thing?
So, but I'm fairly sure it's not. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee you it's not, because I'm still friends with the guy who did it. Mm-hmm. But in researching this episode, or sort of just doing my background, I searched online for a good 20 minutes to try to find evidence of somebody beating Columns, or the ending of Columns, or the last level of Columns.
Obviously, you searched YouTube. You couldn't find one video on YouTube?
No.
That's amazing. That literally blows me away.
So, or just any evidence of it,
right?
Which kind of like feeds into my feeling like, did I see that? But yeah, I fucking saw it, dude.
Yeah.
So I have a buddy who's a really good friend of mine who he's a Nigerian guy who, or at least his dad's from Nigeria, that he's pretty much Nigerian. That beat this game, and I witnessed it, and 2 other people witnessed it when I was in college.
So, to set the scene, you're in a room, you're watching what you think may be, and to this day could very well be, history being made.
Yeah, the only person to have ever been witnessed beating this game.
Right. So talk me through that a little bit. How did it happen?
How did it happen? So this was back in the days where I was collecting video games. So I had a Nomad, which is a portable Sega Genesis.
Yes.
So we were also experimenting with the marijuana.
In college, I doubt it.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
In college in California, I doubt it.
So anyways, so we would kind of, but we were in dorm rooms, right? And these particular dorm rooms were just like so tiny and very, very easy to tell what everyone else was doing, right? So we would put up sheets around the bunk beds that these dorm rooms came in. So we had 8x8 cells, which held 3 people in them. So anyway, so we would do that, and then, but we wanted something to do, right?
Sounds like you're a bunch of adults building forts.
Yes, basically. And so we were like, well, what, but we want something to do, and I'm like, oh, I have this Nomad that could play games. So the first game we beat, which is I'm very proud of, is Altered Beast without using the continue cheat, just straight through.
That is an undeniable accomplishment.
And then we started playing Columns a lot, right? Because you can hook a controller up to the Nomad and play 2 players.
Right. It's super cool.
Yeah. It's really.
I love doing that. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna lose, and
Well, you're supposed to lose. You're in storytelling mode.
this is correct. So in any case, so we played Columns a lot. So I had this Nigerian friend. His name is Akechi, and he's a really great guy. And he just kind of would play it a lot. He when kind of we would indulge ourselves.
Had he ever?
No.
Okay, so he
Never played it.
He'd never heard of it, played it, whatever.
Yeah.
He's a Columns newbie.
Yes.
Okay.
And we would kind of just indulge ourselves on the fine greens, and he would just sort of sit in the corner and play Columns.
That's so cool. Just plotting.
Yeah.
Plotting while playing Columns.
And so
or plotting with Columns.
One day we're kind of just doing our routine, and he's just over there playing, and I look over at his level, and it's like level 30 or something. I'm like, Akechi, you're doing really good right now.
Right.
So for anyone who's ever played this game, I don't think you'll see us get past level 7.
It gets way, way, way fast.
Yeah, I couldn't even enter my name fast enough. I'm trying to think of the story, but it gets, I'll actually, well,
I'm on the left here, and it's already going too fast for me to do anything with.
And that speed increases until level 50 or something.
Right.
So so getting to level 30 is incredible. And so I came up to him and I said, Ketchy, you're doing really, really good right now. And all he said was, I know, man, I know. And I kept playing, right? And
he was in the pocket.
Sexy Mufasa voice.
Right.
So I just shut up and watched.
Right.
And it was level 35, level 37,
just
level 40. And I was just like, Akechi, you're doing fucking really good right now. And he's like, I know, man, I know. And it just kept climbing up. So I told my buddies who were still in our bunk bed fort.
Right? In your adult bunk bed fort?
Yes. Hey guys, look how far Akechi is on this game. Because we had all played it because that was our Nomad was our little, sort of escape in there.
Yeah.
And of course I had a bunch of Genesis games at the time. Anyways, so they came out and they're like, holy shit. And when you get to level 50 in Columns, these things are moving so fast.
Yeah.
You have very little time for any reaction.
So I've seen level 50 before by cheating, using a game genie, just to see what it was like. And it feels like it's significantly less than a full second, from the entire drop of the piece.
Yeah, it's very fast.
Right.
So but he was just I can't even tell you from the guy looking from the outside in, because I'm sure for him time had slowed down a little bit.
Right.
I just couldn't even tell how he was making these decisions fast enough in a way that was leading to multiple combos. So it just kept climbing up. 60, level 70, right? Just going up and up.
Did you know what number? How many levels were in Columns?
I had no idea.
So you were
I don't think anyone knows to this day except for the developers and me and Akechi. So it just kept climbing up. It got level past level 60, 70. There's no real change in the speed.
Right.
It's just it's an endurance match at that point. And he kept at it. And he got to level, I believe. So this is the part that I'm not going to claim to know how many levels in Columns, because I cannot to this day remember if it was 125 or 129.
Well, we've already disclosed that you may or may not have been under the influence of what I like to call 311 fuel.
College was a little fuzzy at times.
Well, that's what it's for.
But it was 125 or 129. I can't remember that. But eventually, even though you're not you cross that level threshold, and even though you're not going to the next level or have a game over,
right?
It does the game over splash, you know how the sort of sparks go up the screen.
Yeah. Wait, so that's the ending that they the game just stops?
Well, it does that, as if it was a game over. So you think you kind of got a game over, and then it just says thanks for playing.
Oh. Wow. Wait, and it doesn't say that.
And then
When you normally.
and that's it. And then the game resets.
So I mean, it's to sit there and witness this feat and then have that be the fruit of your labor. A little anticlimactic, but still, the dude beat fucking Columns.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And like, what was crazy is like when that happened, as like anticlimactic as it seems.
Yeah.
Like we were just screaming.
How
right?
many at this point? Like he had an audience, right?
No, it was like the core group of buddies, right? It was,
How many bodies were?
There were 4 people in the room,
and they were all
one
huddled
was
around
playing.
a Nomad.
Yes,
That's so cool.
And
it's probably the only time that's ever happened, by the way. And in your adult sheep fortress, no less.
Oh, I'm doing terrible. I'm only at level 4, looking I'm gonna lose.
So, we have a mutual friend, actually like a brother of a mutual friend.
Before we jump into that story, let me because I know where you're going, and I want to first kind of wrap this up.
Okay.
So like, so we just jumped up and down screaming, right? Because we knew it had happened, and like, Akechi just sat there bewildered, and he's just like, and I'm like, Akechi, like you fucking beat Columns, like
no one has done that ever.
like, you know, aren't you excited? And he just looked at me. He's like, I haven't blinked in 5 minutes, and he left.
And then he left. He blinked a bunch.
Yes.
Once he left, he forgot how great blinking was.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to get that in there.
Yeah, Jesus, I'm sorry if I stomped all over that. But yeah, so what I was alluding to though, we know someone who has allegedly also beaten Columns, and he has his brothers to corroborate the story. But
yes, one of the brothers is generally trustworthy. One may or may not be.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's just.
But the bottom, I only bring it up. I bring it up because there may be people who have, other than what you witnessed, who have also beaten Columns. But what we know for a fact is that you nor I have ever come close, and never will.
Yes, this is true. I love Columns. I love playing Columns. I could sit here and play with you for the next hour and thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
I will never get past level 8.
Yeah.
Like, let's just be honest about it.
I don't think I've ever. I've definitely not seen double digits in Columns. That's for sure. And there's a game over.
See, that's what happens. Except for instead of game over, it says thank you.
Right.
Thanks for playing.
Okay, so that was what I was trying to ask earlier. That is like the thing that you get. That's the reward. Is, thanks for playing. Well, at least they're showing gratitude.
Yeah.
That
you
literally risked your life and your vision accomplishing that feat.
Yes. So, anyways, that's my Columns story. I would love to hear from anybody that claims to have seen or knows of somebody who has beat Columns.
Right.
I would just not to fight it or dispute it, just to know that there's others out there.
Well, it's like Highlander. You know, like you want to know where all the Highlanders are, and maybe get them together in like some sort of unique galactic council kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then maybe they all get together and try to behead each other so that there can only be one. But that's just me wishful thinking, I guess. But anyway, that's a cool story, and Columns is cool.
I will never witness something greater in terms of video game feats than that.
That's so cool.
I'm going to tell you right now.
And you'd be hard-pressed to find it. So with that, we'll wrap it up here, and thanks for watching, listening, whatever it is that you're doing. And again, we never plug this, ever. We forget to at least, but check us out on Facebook, on Twitter. Ray knows those things, because I always forget.
So just type AutoFire Power Hour on Facebook. Twitter is @AutoFire Power Hour. The hour is just an HR abbreviation, so AutoFire Power HR.
See, I thought that was sneaky, because Karen down at our HR is the one who forced that, and I think she was trying to get a little bit of her own props in there, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, fuck HR.
So anyway, we'll see you on the next one. Columns.